All right, and we're live. How is everybody doing on this exciting open to the week? Bitcoin setting brand new highs for our little trend right here. Have we just officially set a new higher high? I think we might have. Let's just pull up the chart. We had a lot of technical issues in the last live stream, but they've been solved until they're not. Because, and actually, we need green lights right now. Where are the green lights? Let's get some green lights up in this. I don't think my lights go green. That's hilarious. How you guys doing today? Welcome to the live stream. Shout out to those of you who are tuning in live on this one. Smash up the likes as we're getting into this one. We've done a lot of the live stream just earlier today. Let me know in the live chat who out of you guys watching this stream today right now were in the previous stream. I want to know. Let me know as we get into this live stream. Wait for a couple more people to rock up. I don't have a green light, so unfortunately I'm gonna go with I'm just gonna have to settle with blue today. Hope that's okay with you guys. Let's get a quick audio visual check as well. Let me know that everything's all right. We got some blue lights going on today. Oh wow, we are blasting off right now, so this is going to be a very exciting live stream today. I'm going to be talking to you guys about what I'm seeing in this trend. All right, a lot of you guys have been here since the previous stream. Amazing. Thank you for mooning up the likes, ladies and gents. Very, very cool. We are now setting new highs. We're just at that previous high. This is what I was telling you guys is the key breakout point. If Bitcoin is able to rise a little bit beyond this point, and more importantly, stay above it, get some closes above it, you know, for example, on the daily time frame, that would be amazing. Our daily chart ends in about 6 hours today, our daily candles. So it's quite a long time. Really, anything can still happen within the next 6 hours. But, you know, I mean, just being up here in the first place is a good sign. It's a hell of a reaction rally, really. I mean, from our low to our current price right now, the price has shot up. We're up by about 34% now, which is a quite a strong rally at the moment. A lot of people asking me for Shiba analysis. Shiba is popping off as well. I was looking at Shiba. Very, very funny the context within which I was looking at Shiba, but I can't say it on a YouTube video, unfortunately. It is... it's got this, we'll get to Shiba a little bit later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm going to be covering, as usual, Bitcoin. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on Bitcoin, Ethereum, the altcoin market. I'm going to be taking your questions. Going to be the standard model that we like to follow for these live streams. So again, if you're excited, do me a favor and smash up the likes. Let me get my notes up here so that I know what I'm talking about, because there is a lot of stuff to go through. I've also got some really cool on-chain analysis to go through with you guys in this live stream. We got Glassnode pulled back up. For those of you who remember, this is actually the software that I paid $10,000 for just to make one YouTube video, and so, you know, I am going to be trying to get a little bit of my money's worth out of that and show you guys some very, very interesting analysis. For those of you who don't know what Glassnode is, this is actually a very, very cool company that basically allows you to carry out on-chain analysis. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically analyzing Bitcoin's blockchain, really. And Sammy, I said that Shiba would crash. Yeah, I did say Shiba would crash, and here's where I said Shiba would crash from. I said it would crash from over here, and I said that it would either crash down to here or down to here. And so yeah, I was definitely right about that. So yes, and I said this was a bear flag. Turned out to not be a bear flag. Most of the time these are bear flags, but they have like a 33% chance of breaking up. So we have taken the upside here. Obviously, you know, a lot of this is going to depend on what Bitcoin does, right? If Bitcoin is bullish, the altcoin markets can rally a little bit as well. That's why we're seeing, you know, Bitcoin leading by 4%, Ethereum up by 3%, Swissborg up by 5%, VPAD also making some small moves, really nothing impressive yet. But yes, some very, very cool stuff going on in the market. Really the main question right now is, you know, is Bitcoin forming a trap right now? You know, are traders about to get trapped in a very, very nasty place? What I was saying to you guys is that this is the resistance area for Bitcoin, kind of, you know, I mean, I can even extend this box, just move it up a little bit higher. You know, this whole range from the beginning of this box at 40k all the way up to about 44.5 has been the key area of resistance for Bitcoin on my chart, and we're just now flirting with it. We might even break it during this live stream. And this is the thing, is that if we do end up breaking this area of resistance on the chart. I was saying to you guys in the previous live stream, shout out to those of you who were there just about 6 hours ago when I made my previous live stream, I was talking about how I would be expecting quite a quick blast up towards $52,000. Just from, you know, like looking at the technical levels, there are no more resistance levels. You know, if we look at this on a clean chart where I haven't drawn anything, and then we take a look at where my moving averages are, we've actually broken the moving average resistance on the daily time frame as well. A lot of people are going to be getting really excited about this, and at the very same time, might I remind you that if we just put in Google the crypto fear and greed index, and we take a look at what this is showing us, we're in a potentially very dangerous place. I mean, this reading of 45 came in 18 hours ago, and no doubt it's going to be above 45. I bet we're going to be seeing some real bullish territory on the fear and greed index later today. So very dangerous spot in terms of where the fear and greed index could be putting us very soon. And again, this is all coming off a swing low. This is what I want to remind you guys about. You know, like, I know that a lot of people are getting quite excited about this stuff, and you know what, it's fine, I guess, if you're getting excited about this stuff, but bottom line, if that's clouding your judgment, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, right? And the facts are still the same, ladies and gents. You know, even this whole rally, I mean, yes, sure, it's actually been quite strong, but you know, this whole downtrend has been so strong. I was calling for a major reversal for a very long time, and you know, was very bullish here. People were asking me, do I think it's a good idea to buy? And I was saying, absolutely, yes, I do. You know, because Bitcoin was, you know, just too oversold, really. It was sold off too much. And then, you know, to see a rally up here now is good, but bottom line, we're still in a downtrend. You know, I wouldn't want to draw a conclusion that this downtrend is over based off, you know, what is effectively just 3-4 days of trading, especially when a lot of market manipulation kicked in on this candle. You know, this is very important right here on the 2nd of February. And actually, you know, I just want to take a little bit of a segue in this video just to level with you guys for a second and point out something that I think is very important, right? When the market was trending up very quickly right here, I was one of the only people in this space that I know of that was actually warning that actually this rally up was really dangerous. And then when we were you know, setting quite weak new all-time highs, you know, this all-time high wasn't a very high one, for example, you know, or over here or even here, I was warning that, you know, Bitcoin was actually potentially forming quite a bearish pattern, which it's formed many times before, that resulted in sell-offs with these kind of rising wedges, and then they break down. And I was warning you guys about that stuff before it was sexy, before it really made sense. You know, and this is something that I think is really important, and I just want to kind of blow up my camera to talk about this again right now, where you know, these are things which are quite difficult to internalize and accept, right? And one of the things that I told you guys I was looking for is I want to see when sentiment really starts getting very bullish, and it's definitely happening now, right? Like, I mean, everyone in their NAN started to talk about 52K, myself included, and it's just it's important to be aware of where those you know, where that sentiment is right now, because bottom line, I just want to lay a few facts out on the table. Again, the same facts I was saying before, and you guys know the deal with this stuff, right? I mean, this channel is one where I'm going to lay out facts for you, tell you what's going on point blank, without my emotions or biases involved. You guys know the deal. I'm super bullish on Bitcoin overall, right? I mean, I hold a lot of my net worth in it, and I fully anticipate that it's going to be breaking 100K even this year, right? I'm super bullish on it, but that doesn't mean I'm an idiot. So here's what that means in terms of what I'm seeing with this market. Just a few facts. Fact number one, or this is more of an opinion actually, but the market was selling off very aggressively with no relief. So naturally, we need a lot of extreme relief at some point. The longer we wait, the more extreme it's going to be. I think that's why we're seeing such a big dump, such a big pump. That's number one. Number two, we've formed this huge rally up off a new swing low. Fact. This new rally up that we're seeing, which is absolutely huge, is coming off a new swing low. That's not a healthy foundation. You know, the way I'd like to urge you to think about this, you know, when I give you guys analogies and so on, is that you know, when you're building a building, right? Like, I'm in the Burj Khalifa, world's tallest building. The view is phenomenal behind me. When you're building a building, you need really strong fundamentals. You need a really strong, I forgot what you call it, foundation. And if you don't have that, you're not really generally going to be able to sustain a good rally. Now, there are exceptions to this, and I was showing you guys exceptions in previous videos, so those of you who are subscribed will know all about that. But bottom line, we don't have that good foundation right now, in my opinion, coming off a swing low. You know, what would be a good foundation would be what I'm about to show you here. Let's take a look at this right here. I'm going to show you 2 examples of good foundations in my opinion. These are just my opinions here. Like I said, I'm showing you the facts, and then I'm telling you where my opinions are coming in as well. Here's a good foundation. I really like this one right here. Bitcoin forming a classic falling wedge pattern. Bitcoin formed a lot of these before it ended up trending higher. It's done this a lot in this market, and they've all generally worked out very, very nice. All sorts of different shapes and sizes. Well, not shapes, but generally different sizes. You know, bam, right here, big blow up, big blow up, big blow up, and another big one right here, right? Quite a bullish pattern for Bitcoin. It even formed one right here as well. We were talking about this on the channel again for those of you who were subscribed. And so, you know, this is quite a good pattern to potentially indicate that the market's going to bottom out. Again, we didn't really form anything like that. Another one that I really like was what we formed at $3,000, right? This is when Bitcoin topped out at 20K in 2017. And then when it fell down to $3,000, it formed a beautiful ascending triangle pattern, right? This pattern looking something a little bit like this. Again, to me, indicating that the market was getting more bullish, because we were finding resistance at the same ceiling, right? And this is more appropriate if I draw this as a box of resistance. We were finding resistance at the same box of resistance, but our lows were getting higher, indicating to us that actually pressure was condensing the market to the upside. We were kind of pressurizing, almost like a grenade or something, and it was getting ready to explode, and it was pointing towards the side. When we talk about, like, is it Yosemite or whatever the big volcano is in the United States? I forgot what it is. You know, it's got one bulge on one particular side. Those of you in the US will know about this. You all know about this volcano because it's fucking terrifying. There's this one volcano in the United States that is huge, and you know, I think it's like supposed to erupt or something at some point in the next now or whatever. And the main point is, we kind of know which direction it's likely to erupt in already, because it's kind of like pushing on one side, and it's giving an indication that, you know, like, if there is an explosion, it's probably going to erupt on that particular side. And what we have in this market is this right here, where, you know, we're kind of pushing to. So this is also a bottom pattern. This is quite a standard nice bottom pattern. Yellowstone, that's the one. Thank you very much. Yeah, Yellowstone, not Yosemite. I don't even think there is a volcano in Yosemite. I'm not actually sure. Here's another bottom pattern. This one's not as good because it's actually a descending triangle, but this is roughly a similar idea right here, where Bitcoin was, you know, broadly speaking, finding a little bit of support at this line right here. Now, the reason it's not a bottom pattern is, I mean, the pressure here is actually condensing to the downside, but naturally you'll still have a 33% chance of breaking up, 66% chance of breaking down. And with patterns like this, you'll have a 66% chance of breaking up and 33 of breaking down. And so again, we bring this back to the chart right now. I mean, these are bottom patterns. This is what the market forms when it's at a bottom. We don't have that right now. Very, very important note, in my opinion, ladies and gents. We don't have a bottom pattern, but we've still instigated a big rally. And when we consider fact number 1, or this is more of an opinion actually, like I said, that the market has dropped down very, very aggressively without any real relief. So we were overdue for a big rally. That you have to ask yourselves, how much credit can you give to a rally like this? You know, when we're looking for real market movements that sustain themselves and that, you know, keep you know, where we're moving up and we keep the gains, it generally doesn't happen this quickly. This is why I was making the same argument when Bitcoin was rising up over here. I didn't really have a problem with this rally because it was fairly controlled, but this rally was just straight up every single fucking day, and it didn't make sense. Of course, if you're making money, you're not going to question it, because most people have that extreme inherent bias. But I don't, and that's why I was questioning this stuff as we were rising up. And I'm doing the same thing to you guys right now. You know, when we get sell-offs that are as extreme as this, I'm going to question them, and I'm going to tell you that I think we're due for a relief rally. But when we get rallies, you know, upward rallies, pardon me, one sec. Sorry about that. When we get relief rallies that are as strong as this one right here, again, I'm going to start questioning them, because we've moved up through resistance really, really quickly. And again, we're not doing it with a good fundamental basis right here. We're not doing this with a good foundation. If Bitcoin had come back down to this low and set a double bottom, then actually I'd be a lot more happy with it, because what that means, all right, and I want to break this down for you so you can understand exactly why I'm saying, you know, a double bottom, for example, would have been so much better to tell me that this kind of bounce is going to be sustained. And again, like it's not just this, it's like it's seeing how the sentiment is blowing up right now as well, right? If you can't distance yourself from that stuff and just evaluate it, right? It's a fact. This is not really my opinion anymore. It's in numbers. Fear and Greed Index is showing this as of 18 hours ago. Imagine what it's going to be in 6 hours when the damn thing updates again. This is like these are things where I'm not actually telling you my opinions. Like I'm just giving you numbers. I'm showing you what the numbers are saying. If you can't accept these things because you don't like the idea of Bitcoin dropping back down again, then get the fuck off the channel, because this channel is going to keep on hurting your feelings. This is only, of course, for the people who are really genuinely initiated and actually want to make money here. They don't want to have their ego stroked or anything like that. You actually want to blow up your wallet. That's why you're here. And if that's not you, then this isn't the place for you. Go find some other fuck off channel that's going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. This ain't the place. But here's the thing, is that if we did end up forming a double bottom, for example, why that's so special is that, the first time we test the bottom here, we're giving the bears a chance to drive the price much lower, but more importantly, we're giving the bulls a chance to show that they actually want to defend this level. They didn't have a great chance to do that because it's only come down once, but if it comes down a second time, the reason that this is so important is that this is actually a situation in the market, if we come back down to this level here, where the bears are essentially being given another chance to sweep this low and take us much lower, right? Pay attention to this. When we set a low like right here on the chart, the next time we come down to that low, we sweep it. Then we find resistance at the same area right here. Then again, we've set a low over here. Next time we come, we sweep that low. And that's how we trend lower. That's the trend. If, for example, we come back down to the same low, but we don't sweep it, and instead we end up finding support, that's going to tell us a lot about how actually bulls have now decided that they're not going to keep on losing strength, and they are actually going to start defending levels. It just gives you a lot more added reinforcement to the same point. It's very, very important, in my opinion, to be able to see signs like this in the market where we have a situation where the bears are being given a real chance to drive the market lower, but they're not able to take it because the bulls are stepping in. It tells us a lot more about the situation in the market compared to we're just massively oversold and now we're rallying in extreme reactions to that. Stuff like this generally doesn't tend to end well, and I'll show you another great example of this right here. This is a slightly different example because it happened way faster than what Bitcoin's doing right now, but it's still, I think, generally showing us something quite similar. And actually, we saw this quite a few times throughout this drop. Is if we look at when Bitcoin set its previous all-time high at $65,000, it trended down and immediately started trending up quite nicely, right? And if we measure this from high to low, this was a 26% drop, but then it rallied up by 26% within 2 weeks as well, which is fairly similar to what we're looking at right now. But when we started dropping down, take a look at this, right? When we dropped down from $59,000 down to just below 30K, this was more than a 50% crash. Bitcoin ended up forming a huge relief rally very, very quickly. And this is fine, but it's not sustainable, right? Like if you were looking at the chart right here, you might have actually thought that Bitcoin had a real chance at actually setting a bottom and that it was going to start trending up again, right? Again, we look at this on the 4-hour time frame, and you can probably start to appreciate how a lot of people would have thought at this point that actually this is just a quick flash crash and we're going to rocket right back up. But of course, if you have an understanding of where technical analysis shows us that we have resistance zones, which is right here, it's what I have drawn on my Bitstamp chart, which I'll show you in just a minute, you'll then be able to start reasoning that actually this is quite an aggressive rally, perhaps even an overly aggressive rally, which is only in response to a very aggressive sell-off. And that makes this very, very difficult to for someone like me to jump on the bandwagon and be very excited by this kind of thing. That's why I have to start expecting a little bit of resistance. Ladies and gents, if you're enjoying this live stream so far, thank you all for tuning in. Do me a favor and smash that like button up for the second live stream of the day. It's actually the first time I've ever done this on this YouTube channel, so that alone deserves a little bit of a thumbs up on this live stream if you do appreciate this. If you were here for both live streams, again, I just want to give you guys a very, very special shout out because that is amazing. I do appreciate your support very, very much. It does mean a lot. But again, these are just important things that I want to be reminding myself and you guys of about right now. It doesn't mean that I'm not bullish, right? I mean, Bitcoin is literally testing its previous high right here. I mean, this is essentially where we could also expect the most resistance. But bottom line, the fact that we were able to get up here so quickly is still a sign of at least short-term strength in the market. And thank you all to those of you who have smashed up the like. We got about 1,300 viewers in here. So thank you all for interacting with this video. Of course, if you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe as well, so that you do make sure that you don't miss out on this content, because we're going to be doing a lot more regular live streams and so on like this as we go on. I was actually just trading Ethereum inside of VIP. I was looking for short positions. I traded one position in 2 ways, and it didn't end very well. I closed a very small loss and a very small profit, broadly speaking, and just hovered around break even with that trade, and now looking for new opportunities in the market. It's been a very, very hectic market. And actually this, you guys remember this VIP member that I told you about, who paid off his yearly subscription within the first day of joining? Very, very impressive testimonial right here. Yearly subscription paid off for less than a day. This is actually his full testimonial, where he sends the first message showing his Cardano and Matic trade 19% and 17% profit right here. And he mentioned that he spent some time studying materials from last night from the group and wanted to show the results of literally 12 hours later. 12 hours later after joining VIP, how his leverage trading changed. Very, very impressive move, to say the least. And it's not the first time he made a profit with leverage. It is the first time he did it right, by laddering. So this is this person kind of talking a little bit about strategies that he was able to learn and use very, very well. I mean, understanding laddering is not enough. To be able to use it correctly is a completely different story altogether. And this person, within literally 12 hours of joining, pulling off something very, very impressive. Here's the screenshot he shared. Very, very impressive results, to say the least. And then of course he follows this up where this message is sent at 8:16 p.m. The next message sent about 2 hours later, mentioning that he actually paid off the bloody fee of joining VIP. The small profits turning into much larger ones. 16k up in a day, 15k profit. Very, very impressive. You know, and securing those gains. So if you do want to jump inside of VIP, see what these people have been able to gain access to while the market is moving. This is the crucial thing, is you can learn all this stuff on your own if you spend enough time and you have enough patience, and you lose enough money. But you can also shortcut your way there, and this is how a lot of very, very impressive people have been able to do the very same thing. So if you do want to jump inside, then of course the steps are on screen right here. All you got to do is click on the first link in the description down below, click on the @4flies button, and then click on send message to ask me how to join 4flies VIP. I'm going to leave this on screen for a minute or so that you guys can take a look at this. And meanwhile, I want to start going through your comments and questions before I switch back to the analysis. I have a lot more stuff that I want to go through as well in this live stream. You know, quite a few important key levels. I want to give you guys an update on the Wyckoff accumulation stuff that we were talking about, and like I said, some of those Glassnode charts, which to me is very, very exciting. So let me just take a quick look through the comments. If you do have questions, then please go ahead and drop them in the comments by also tagging me. I'm not going to go through altcoins yet, so just Bitcoin stuff. If you do have any questions, so yeah, do go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to move back to the charts now. Those of you who have reached out for VIP, you'll get responses like pretty much right now. I mean, we've already got my assistant's already on my account right now. I guess, yeah, I just want to, before I move on, you know, one of the key things that I do want to talk about, again, just to reaffirm, I still believe this is the case, is that if Bitcoin does end up breaching this resistance area right here, it could end up flying, primarily because if we really zoom out and we look at what's going on between these, you know, yellow lines and these red lines right here, you know, I was already saying this quite a lot, but generally, you know, when Bitcoin breaks these yellow lines, it goes all the way up to the red ones, and when it breaks the red ones, it goes all the way down to the yellow ones, and vice versa. Many times, with only a very, very small few exceptions right here. So I would definitely expect something similar to play out right now. But even then, you know, we would still, I mean, this would be pretty good, I can't lie. I mean, that would definitely do something to make me a little bit more bullish, but bottom line, this would still be resistance, and on the daily time frame, it actually lines up with 𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗙𝗪. So look, I don't want to be ignoring the facts just because you know, people are getting excited right now. I mean, that's what the noobs will do and so on, and that's totally fine. I mean, you know, the nature of why these markets can be so dangerous is that, you know, one of the noobs, for example, the people who are new to the market and very easily manipulated by the market, might end up getting super bullish right here, and then they might be right if the market moves all the way up over here, for example. They might still be right over here, and this is where they start gaining a lot of confidence, because now they're up by like 10%, and then we hit resistance right here and their confidence peaks, and then we end up dropping. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but what I am putting on your radar is that you know, you can being right temporarily doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be right all the time. You know, a lot of people, for example, on this rally here, felt like they were definitely very right about Bitcoin recovering and permanently, you know, kind of not coming back down to these levels again, or at least for a very, very long time. But of course, they were wrong because we captured resistance in a very strong area of resistance, right? So these are things that you must be aware of as traders and analysts if you want to actually have some real chance of being, you know, competent in these markets and actually handling them fairly well. So to me, I think that is very, very important. Now, one of the charts that I do want to focus your attention on along the very, very same lines is actually something that I showed you in the very last live stream, but it's worth bringing up right now anyway, just so that we can take a look. And yes, by the way, I will talk about how I think Bitcoin could still actually be in a very, very bullish place as well. I'm going to be giving both sides of the story, but for now, I'm just starting off with this stuff right here. You know, how I am looking at, yeah, like this area of resistance. I mean, Bitcoin's pretty much just past it right now. I showed you the previous chart earlier on. It's got that same level of resistance right up ahead. And then, you know, this is the thing, is that if Bitcoin can manage to pass this area, the good thing about this is it's almost like, you know, like you're leaving the atmosphere, and so there's less and less resistance the higher you go. You know, I mean, we cleared what is effectively the biggest area of resistance on Bitcoin's chart, full stop, right now. Just today, we've cleared it today. You know, with I mean, the resistance was like 44.5, 44.4, and we pretty much topped out right there. Looking at the OHLC, we topped out like $100 higher. I mean, it's not really good enough. I would prefer a few $100 more to show that it's a confirmed breakout. But I mean, that can happen during this live stream. That can happen right afterwards, right? I mean, we're basically on the edge of it right now. Very, very strong area of resistance. We've cleared it. And then each subsequent area of resistance is probably going to be getting a little bit weaker and weaker. But of course, you've also got to consider how much steam does this rally really actually have. I think that's really, really important. However, if we do end up breaking this area, I would anticipate resistance next in the low $60,000 range. I would expect a quite quick rip upwards above kind of 53,000. If we do manage to get to 53 and pass it, I would expect quite a quick rip to the upside. And then this is where things can get really exciting, because of course, if Bitcoin gets up to this level, I would have no doubt that it's going to be able to break the 60K resistance, because, you know, look at the correction we had, right? Like, this is enough to really reset the market. Definitely enough to reset the market. That's why I was saying I don't think we're going to be dropping below 30K. And you know, if we do end up you know, kind of challenging that 60K area again, you know, because I'm expecting to break it, we're now going to, and this is the crazy part, is we're now going to be potentially breaking quite a significant area of resistance on the chart after having a massive pullback, right? And so we didn't really do anything with it this last time over here in summer, or towards the end of summer, when Bitcoin was rallying up towards 60K. We didn't really do much with it at this point, but again, on attempt number 2, I want to be a little bit more optimistic. And you know, what I was saying, broadly speaking, is that, you know, whatever the previous all-time high was, which in this case was $69,000, I would expect Bitcoin to you know, at least double that all-time high, and that's where I start coming to numbers of like $130,000, $140,000. Way too early to talk about that right now. But bottom line, you know, we are breaking these resistance levels right now, and so I'm only saying this to tell you, like, look, that possibility is still on the cards. Always has been. I was always quite clear about that. I just didn't necessarily talk about it because the market short term was more bearish. You know, now obviously it's worth bringing it up again, but I mean, this fact hasn't really changed in my opinion. It's not a fact, but I mean, this analysis from my side hasn't really changed at any point. It's just worth bringing it up right now. But again, you know, I mean, this doesn't really matter until we break the resistance levels that are, you know, a little bit more directly in front of us at the moment on this chart. And so that's why I wanted to show you that stuff. As for the Wyckoff pattern, you know, I mean, we're not following it perfectly right now. If I show you the Wyckoff pattern that I was looking at, I mean, this might be a little bit too much of a large explosion to the upside, although you can see how, you know, I mean, like previously we formed a rally which was a 25% move up right here with Bitcoin's previous bottom in summer of last year, and then it managed to blow up with this, you know, I think this is ST means secondary test, you know, and we're doing potentially something a little bit similar right now. It's very hard to say because these Wyckoff patterns, they don't necessarily play out exactly the same every single time, but if we do get a rejection here, we're going to be right in line with the standard Wyckoff accumulation patterns that we might actually be used to. And I want to show you what that might look like with this link right here. Bear with me while I pull it up. This actually illustrating the very same thing here, where we have a key kind of resistance line right here. We break it in some significant way, which is what's shown on this chart, where we had the key resistance line right here at 38.7. We've broken it in a very significant way, so that's why I'm saying like we haven't actually been completely in line with the Wyckoff accumulation pattern right now, but because we followed it so perfectly within a previous move, we are potentially looking at some sort of history rhyming, and that's why I'm putting this on your radar, where if you do end up getting a rejection here, I would certainly be expecting support at 30k to hold. One of the key things that I want to draw your attention to right now is that because we're having such a strong reaction rally right now, I would definitely anticipate that if we do come all the way back down to these support areas, that they would hold. I mean, I was saying this for a long time, but I want to remind you guys that, my opinion on this hasn't changed. I do think that if Bitcoin does come back down to the low 30k range, 31, 30,000, 33, whatever the case may be, I would expect that these support levels hold, because we're really displaying that the bulls can come back in at any time, and I think that's gonna be imprinted in a lot of people's memories, even if we do end up tumbling lower again. I would not expect these lows to get breached again. I think that would be absolutely ridiculously brutal, way too brutal, way more brutal than we actually need anything to be in this market at the moment. And bottom line, I think a lot of these coins have been cleansed well enough. These Shiba absolute shitcoin holders, these absolute jokes of traders, getting very excited by this, literally getting chubbies downstairs, looking at these two lightsaber candles to the upside right here. Absolutely pathetic. These people really getting very excited, but still failing to realize how disgustingly underwater they are on their shitcoin position. These shitcoins have been destroyed. Shiba has been destroyed. Cardano, from its all-time high at $3, has been destroyed. Ethereum, not so much in my opinion. Ethereum's actually been fairly okay, but we've seen other coins like Solana, from its all-time high at 260, destroyed, fell all the way down to $80. I was warning you guys that a very nasty drop could be waiting for Solana if it does end up dropping below this level, and that's exactly what happened. It dropped from 130 all the way down to $80 very, very quickly, and that potentially showing us that these altcoins have seen a real bloodbath, and that's why, like, when I'm looking at have these markets seen enough to potentially reset now, I believe the answer might be yes. I do absolutely think that there could be more blood coming in. Like Solana reaching this resistance level, for example, is not a good sign at all, in my opinion, and a lot of the altcoins are in similar positions like that right now. I don't actually remember all of them off the top of my head, but Phantom's in a resistance area right now as well, so this can also potentially end badly at the moment. I'm not going to go too much into altcoins right now, but I did just want to bring that stuff up for you guys. I also, like I said, I want to go through the Glassnode stuff in just a moment, but if you do have your questions, then do me a favor and drop them in the comments right now. If you are dropping your questions, then also make sure you tag me by writing at @SammyLoyal, and then it will auto-fill to my name, and then you can write your question, and if you don't do that, I won't see your comment. So please go ahead and do that. If you have any questions for Bitcoin right now before I move along, someone says he's still waiting for the drop to 20k. Like I said from the very beginning, 20k would be a phenomenal buy level if we got it, but it's very hard for me to imagine 20k. It's very hard for me to imagine anything below 30k, to be honest. It would only take like a black swan event type of thing to drop Bitcoin down there, and obviously the nature of a black swan event is that we can't predict it, so it's quite difficult to do so. And bottom line, even as the thumbnail says, I think that if Bitcoin is able to break these levels, looking at passing the all-time high is very much on the cards, because like I said, resistance really thins out. This is the area of resistance that Bitcoin has. It's got more resistance up ahead for sure, but none of them are as strong as this resistance area, in my opinion, as shown on this chart right here, where you can see so many interactions with the 40k level right here. And actually, we can count this just as an interesting thought experiment right here. Let's take a look at this. So we got one resistance hit, a second one right there, but a small one, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that's it. Actually, there's 6, and then over here, if we're looking at resistance, we have one hit of resistance here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then if we look at the resistance in this box, we've got 3 hits, right? So we're encountering less resistance the higher we go. The levels just have been tested less, which is natural on really any chart, because I mean that's just how charts tend to play out. But bottom line, what that means is that as we get higher, it's almost like the atmosphere is getting thinner, and so it's, I know this isn't how planes and stuff work, but you know, just roll with it here. You know, if the atmosphere is getting thinner, it basically is, the resistance is getting thinner. It's getting easier and easier to keep pushing us higher and higher. And you know, one of the key reasons that I mean it's worth, I mean I can tell you this with charts and numbers, but it's quite important to understand the psychology of how this happens, because bottom line, I think what a lot of people fail to recognize in these markets is that technical analysis is literally just psychology and numbers. The reason that we see you know, easier rides up the higher we go, the reason that we see this parabola effect, if you don't know what parabola is, then go ahead and Google it. It's this effect where, I mean, you have the hockey stick growth and it just gets crazier and crazier as you go higher. The reason we have that from a psychological perspective is that the higher we go, naturally the more bullish people are going to be getting generally, and if people are getting more bullish, they're getting more greedy. And so if they already hold Bitcoin, they don't want to sell it. And if they don't hold Bitcoin, they want to buy it. And that means you have, you know, an issue of supply and demand, where supply really starts dropping because people don't want to let go of their Bitcoin, and demand either stays the same or actually increases. And this disparity gets even bigger and even bigger and even bigger until it just flips completely, because, you know, some fat-fingered seller ends up selling a bunch of Bitcoin and scaring a bunch of people, and triggers a little bit of sell-off. And that's where, you know, everyone who previously didn't want to sell their Bitcoin because they were making money, now they're not making money because that fat-fingered seller has actually, you know, potentially crashed the market a little bit. And so the supply massively goes up, and demand, you know, eventually pretty much gets exhausted, because everyone who wanted to buy Bitcoin has pretty much already bought it, and it's just that nobody was selling Bitcoin, and that's why the price kept on getting driven higher, which is called low liquidity, by the way. And that's where liquidity suddenly increases massively, but demand is still at the same place, and that's where you get the big crashes to the downside. This is very, very important to understand, and if you didn't really get it from this, that's totally fine. Those of you who are in VIP with access to our 𝗪𝗪𝗪 Academy courses will know a lot about this already, and if you're not already in there, then, you know, like I said, follow the first link in the description. You're going to see the steps to join right there, and you can you know, get my full educational content on these kind of concepts. And it very important because you know, once you understand how that kind of supply and demand works, you can really position yourself in the market to not be hurt. You know, I mean, this is the reason that when Bitcoin was initially rallying up right here towards $60,000 for the first time, I actually averaged a sell price of around $57,000 on my Bitcoin, where I sold my Bitcoin to buy a literal house out here in Dubai. You know, when I first moved here, I bought that house for my mother because we never actually had one that we owned, and that was obviously a very smart decision in hindsight. And the reason I was able to make that kind of decision is I knew where that supply and demand was heading, and so I was able to position myself to exit the market. Now, you know, even if Bitcoin goes up to $500,000, I still have the house, and I'm still happy and proud that I have it. And bottom line, I chose a very good exit point for it. And you're able to do these things. You're able to choose these exit points. I think exit points are a little bit easier than entry points, in my opinion. You're able to choose these exit points with a little bit more precision when you have a, you know, very solid psychological understanding of, you know, how these supply and demand issues play out on the market. So you know, that stuff to me is very, very important. If you found that explanation useful, by the way, please let me know in the comments, and also by smashing up the likes. Let's see what other comments we have here before I move on to some of the more very, very interesting Glassnode analysis that I have for you guys in this live stream. Is there still a chance to make money? 100% yes. I'm still watching the video from days ago when he said the party is over. No spoilers. Let's see what else we have. Someone's gone off to work. Have a good day, man. Let's see what else we have in the comments here. And why did I move to Dubai? I mean, the UK was not so nice in my opinion. Still isn't. What is most probable in my opinion? It's kind of what I'm exploring, isn't it? I mean, it's not a very straightforward question. That's why I'm doing whole videos and live streams about it. I couldn't give you a straight answer on this because, I mean, the markets are quite complicated. I mean, it's not that complicated, but I mean, in order to give you guys like real analysis and explore the probability, that's the objective of these lives and videos, is to explore the probabilities. And I mean, I'm kind of telling you what I think is going to happen. I mean, even if we end up rising higher, I still think we're in clear bull trap territory just because of how we started it. I mean, if you're building a massive skyscraper and you don't have a good foundation, it can go as high as you fucking want it to go, but bottom line, it should have a good chance of falling down. I mean, and there are exceptions to this. I was very quick to point out to you guys where I was wrong about this, and I'll keep telling you. I mean, I tell you all about when I'm right, and I fucking love doing it. But I also have no problem telling you where I'm wrong as well. You guys hopefully are noticing this, and where I was wrong right here was when Bitcoin set this huge low in March 2020. To be fair, nearly everybody was wrong at this point because it was so obvious that we should be dropping down. If we replay the chart to what we had right here, for example, we had a very similar situation to what Bitcoin's in right now, where we set a brand new swing low and then we just kept on rallying higher. We moved up, we consolidated a little bit, which Bitcoin could definitely do right now. That would definitely be the healthiest possible thing for Bitcoin to do right now, and that would actually change my mind, by the way, is if Bitcoin started trading sideways right here for a matter of days, maybe even weeks, especially if we did it for like a week or two, that would totally change my opinion. I would get super bullish on Bitcoin if we did that, because essentially this is giving the bulls, the bears, a lot of chance to seize control back of the market, and they're not taking it. So that would be a huge sign, which I just didn't see at that time, because you got to keep in mind, I mean, yeah, I just watched Bitcoin go from 10K to fucking 3K in the middle of a pandemic that had just begun in the West. And so, I just couldn't see it back then, and nobody else really could as well. But bottom line, it did end up being the bottom, and I was still saying, even up to like here, I was still saying that I expect Bitcoin to eventually drop back down, and it didn't, right? So, and it didn't matter, because Bitcoin then set like a 20 times return from there, right? So sometimes it doesn't matter that you set a low off a prior swing low. But I mean, here's another pattern that I would deem to be far more bullish as a bottom pattern, is that we drop down to a low of about 6.7, we drop down to that same low again, about 6.5, and we drop down to 6.7. This is almost actually an inverse head and shoulders, but a bit of a weird one. But also what it is to me, it's a triple bottom, right, where we have three separate but very close bottoms in terms of the price level, and then we start rallying up. Like, this rally should have continued, and I believe would have continued were it not for the coronavirus pandemic taking off. That again is more of a black swan event. I mean, naturally pandemics are going to happen, right? It's just statistically probable that we're going to have pandemics. It just makes sense, right? It's just numbers at the end of the day. When you run these things in simulations in terms of numbers, meteors will hit the planet, and murderers will kill people, and people will be charitable, and pandemics will begin. It's just numbers. But I believe that, and that was quite a black swan event, because we never really saw one in the modern world. I don't need to tell you why the pandemic was a big deal. We all know. But bottom line, I think that if we didn't get it, we probably would have been okay. And this was actually a rally that was fairly destined to move up. And I think that's why we ended up doing so during the pandemic actually took off anyway, is because we were kind of overdue for a big rally, in my opinion, and I believe the opinions of many other quite respected, competent, and how do I say what do I call it, fairly unbiased, objective analysts and so on. I believe that that is the sentiment that was going around. But of course, I mean, a black swan event comes around and you're dead in the water. You can't do anything about it, can you? Here's something that I do want to show you guys. Actually, let's go through a couple more questions while I'm here, because there's a lot of them. Will Bitcoin fall again, or has the bull run started? You're clearly not paying attention, man. Please go to the beginning of the live stream. How long did it take for me to become a profitable trader? 1 year. 1 year since I joined, almost exactly 1 year. I just took a long time to learn, though. I mean, I was like 15, 16 years old. I was an idiot. I mean, I just didn't learn my lesson. It was really hard as a young guy to humble myself and learn from my mistakes. But fortunately, I believe I'm able to do that fairly well now. Let's see what else we have here. Ruben, confused as fuck. No retest on the pump. Is this a red flag? Yeah, it is. It is a red flag. I mean, Ruben is saying that we haven't had a retest of support either here or over here before moving up. Is it a red flag? Yes, sir, it is. This is, again, quite extreme price action. Ladies and gents, I want to make this point very clear to you. When the market is rising up quickly, I'm going to tell you it's a bad sign and you should be careful. When the market is dropping down very quickly, I'm going to tell you it's a bad sign and we should be very careful. And we should expect corrections when the market is moving up quickly and when it's moving down quickly. So right now, here's one of those things right now. I mean, this is just how markets move, right? And we can actually see a small pullback right here. Nothing super crazy, but definitely Bitcoin potentially getting rejected off a key level. At the moment, like I said, I mean, the most bullish thing that I think Bitcoin can do right now is kind of set some sort of large bullish, bull flag or something that takes us towards, Valentine's Day or whatever, just over the next week, something like that. That would be incredibly bullish in my opinion. Let's see what else we had here. Possible inverse head and shoulders. I don't want to look at that right now. See what other questions we have here before I move on to the glass node analysis. And by the way, thank you all for smashing up the likes. We're already at 700. That is absolutely amazing. If you haven't done so already, then please do me a favor and smash up those likes. Got a very, very insightful live stream for you all today. Someone's mentioned shorts are shooting up. Let's take a look at that. I did actually get the correct link now, thanks to one of our VIP members. So let me pull that link up. Bear with me. While I he messaged me just now saying that I definitely need green lights. Yes, I do. I'm working on it, but in a bear market, I mean, not really in a bear market, but time like this, I'm not really super inclined on spending money, but it's fine now. We're back to being bullish, at least for a minute. So here's this website showing us, yeah, I mean, a lot of people going short right now, so potentially a little bit more of a squeeze to come. Interesting where they get this data from, really, because I didn't know these exchanges all share this data. But yeah, overall, Bitcoin 55% short, Binance 55% short. Some other exchanges like Bybit a little bit more extreme, 70% short. Definitely some indication of how like a lot of people are opening up short positions right now. So generally, this is a sign that the market is going to be blasting through resistance. I don't want to make conclusions like that, but I'm just telling you what other people will be thinking right now. I don't necessarily think that that's the case. Honest question, if whales decide to sell and buy and go straight up or down, I don't understand your question. That is a lot of really weird. Can you reword that question, please, Jessica? What do I think about going long? I mean, here's the thing about going long, right? Like, Bitcoin set this low at $33,000, and without any real pullbacks other than this one extremely manipulated move. And I was telling you why I think it's very manipulated. I don't want to go into it right now because I've already talked about it, so those of you who are subscribed will know about it. But other than this one very manipulated pullback, Bitcoin didn't really have a real pullback in this whole rally up across 14 days, where it's gone up by about 35%. It didn't have a pullback. Point blank, it didn't. And like, do you really want to go long in a situation where the market's already up by 34%? Let's look at this when we set other lows, right? Let's look at previous instances, because it's a good question, right? I know a lot of people are asking questions like this right now. So let's look at what would have happened before if you opened a long when we hit new lows and we rallied up by about 35%. So from this low, if you opened a long position when the market went up by 36%, you would have opened a long position right here at $38,000 from our low, which was, wait for it, our low right here was at, actually this is a bad exchange. Let me show you, let me show this to you on Coinbase, because Coinbase had much more realistic price action at that time. All I want to do is, like, look, right now we're forming quite a rally off a 35 off a low, of a new swing low, and we're now up by, I mean, from low to high by about 34%, 35%, right? So is it a good idea to open longs now? Well, let's take a look at what happened in similar situations in the past, where we also fell down massively and we also rallied up by about 35%. So again, we measure it from this low at $30,000, we're up by 35%. That puts us right here at $40,000. Let's say you open your long position right here. And let's zoom in even more, because the price action was just so quick that you can barely even see what happened. But let's move ourselves back to, bear with me, this is probably making a few people dizzy and confused right now. But, take a look at this, right? I mean, let's say I can't even show it to you on the 1 hour time frame. Bloody hell, this goes quickly. Let's look at it on the 5 minute then. Let's see what the 5 minute is showing us. Oh no, you don't have historical data going that far back. Let's try 15 minute. This is not the right chart. 1 second. This is a little bit confusing right now. Let me Let me demystify this. I just need to replay the chart back correctly. We're looking at right about over here, and I want to look at, let's say, the 15. Come on, give me the 15-minute time frame. Yes, you can do that. So here's the low at, this is very interesting, right? And what we're looking at right now is when Bitcoin topped out at $65,000 all the way up here, and then it dropped down to $30,000 and it halved, and this was what happened in summer of last year. Each candle here represents 15 minutes of time, and so from this low to this high, it took Bitcoin 4 hours to pump up by 40%. And a lot of people would have been asking similar questions that you've asked right now. We're up by 35%. Doesn't it make sense to go long? Well, you could have, and this is the point I was making in the live stream earlier today. I just didn't say it as clearly as I'm saying it right now, is that we can break above, key resistance levels like $40,000 right here before we reach similar levels to where we're at right now. Right now we're, $1,500 higher than this high right here, which in itself is very impressive, to be quite honest. But bottom line, we did end up hitting this area. But if you opened your long right here, you would have been in a profit for, what is this? 15, 30, 45 minutes max 45 minutes, and then you would have been in a loss, and a fairly substantial loss, right? I mean, let's say you open up a long position with even, let's say 5 times leverage is fairly aggressive for this kind of trade, but let's just say 5 times leverage, you'd be in a maximum profit of 25%, but I mean, just within hours, you'd be in a loss of about 35%, right? And actually, it gets even worse than that, right? I mean, the markets, and now you're going to be underwater in a loss of up to 40%, 35% profit for a whole 7 hours. That's really going to grind on your psychology. And then we dip even lower again from your entry point down to the low right here. I mean, at what point do you just fucking call it a losing trade and close it? This is a minus 13% drop. That's a 65% loss if you're trading this move on 5 times leverage. Even if you're trading this move on 3 times leverage, you're in more than a 30% loss at this point. It's like a 39% loss. Music Calgary already knows, this person mentioning this is some wisdom now. Bang on, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like the reason I can talk about this stuff with such I guess confidence or whatever is because I'm a real trader. Like, I've been here before and I've asked myself questions like this, and I guess I didn't have somebody to ask questions like this to, so I just winged it and see what I saw what I could do. And a lot of the times I fucked it up and I lost my money, and what you're hearing from me now is the result of years of learning from those kind of mistakes, and now asking what I would believe to be the right questions before I enter trades like this, which of course is what you're getting the result of inside of VIP. When you watch me trading in VIP, every single trade I make, all the information about it in real time, my entry level, my stop loss, and so on, you're going to be seeing the result of all of those lessons that I've learned across the years. And also my lead analyst, who also trades right alongside me. He is literally like a copy-paste version of me in terms of analysis, but he's even more conservative than I am. He is even smarter than I am as well. Very, very cool indeed. You're seeing that all inside of VIP, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons that this person was able to join VIP within 12 hours of joining with his yearly plan, learn a bunch of cool, crazy shit, and then, just within about 14 hours roughly of joining VIP, according to what this person said right here, managed to pay off the fee for VIP within less than a day on his yearly package. And this yearly package is the package that you can pay for in order to, first get a year of access into VIP, which is amazing because there's absolutely zero element of time pressure, but also, have access to our $2,700 Advanced Academy course and phone calls with me whenever you like. And I love doing those phone calls, so they're very, very cool. We usually do a phone call immediately after you join. We'll talk about your trading experience if you have any. If you don't, that's also fine. We have a lot of complete newcomers that have joined as well. We'll get on the phone, talk about your trading journey so far, how that's been going for you. Steps are on screen right here, and then we'll potentially give you a few next steps for what to do, analyze a little bit of what you were doing, why you were doing it, and so on. Just really get inside your head, and then we'll follow that up within weeks or a month or whatever you need. It is very, very flexible. So if you do want to take advantage of it, then these are the steps on screen right here. But again, moving us back to your question about, is it a good idea to go long right now in this market? If you take a look at how this would have gone for you, it would have taken you quite a long time to get back into a profit. In this case, 19 hours, where you would have been in a loss of up to, with 5x leverage, up to 65%. And then, even then, when you're in a profit again, your maximum profit the next time around is also about 20 to 25%. It's a really, really big deal. That's why opening long positions when the market is so I want to say overextended. We're not necessarily overextended right now, but let's just say overextended for lack of a better word, because I mean, I'm not trying to open up a dictionary or thesaurus and find the right word for this, but bottom line, this is quite an aggressive move up. You know, opening a long position, you know, right at a point like this is quite dangerous, really, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I mean, this is an example of how it would have worked out terrible for you, where, yeah, you may be in a profit temporarily, but you might be sitting on the water for a long time because the market's already moved up by a lot. It doesn't mean that we can't keep on moving up, but realistically, will we? You know what I mean? And you could have asked the same question right here, and actually, it would have been a brilliant idea to open up a long position right here, according to what we see. Now, in hindsight, we also know that this would have been a bad idea because Bitcoin ends up retracing even lower than this point eventually. But bottom line, I mean, you would be in a profit for quite some time. I mean, you know, if you open your long position here with 5x leverage, you would have actually doubled your money over here. And then let's just say like the average price that Bitcoin is trading out is around over here. That's still a 10% move. And again, on 5 times leverage, that would be a 50% profit. So timing is quite important. You would have actually been able to potentially be in a really nice profit at this point. But again, we replay the chart and we keep watching how this thing moves forward, and we can see that, I mean, your profit potential when we're already 35% up from the low isn't great, and it stays bad for quite a long time. And then actually we end up sweeping all of these lows, and you're now at this point looking at a liquidation pretty much. I mean, that's minus 17%. You're basically flirting with a liquidation at that point, you know, because as soon as you hit like 18-19% loss on a 5x leverage position, you're going to get liquidated, and that would probably be like right here. You would be liquidated a whole 3 days afterwards. You'd lose every single dollar you put into that trade at that point. And that's just one example to answer your question, because it's a good question. You know, is it a good time to go long right now? And again, like, look at the situation we're in right now. If Bitcoin ends up, you know, even just falling down to this area and then potentially, you know, floating around and finding a little bit of, you know, support in this range and then potentially forming a bull flag, like, sure, it could end up working out. But I mean, bottom line, I mean, like, you could be in a position that's sitting underwater for days, right? And can you sit with that? Can you pay the fees for that? Because you know, some of you may already know this, but you know, with leverage exchanges, including Bybit, the one that I use, the main one that I've been using for a long time, you're going to be paying, actually there's not a single exception to this as far as I know, you're going to be paying funding fees just to keep your position open. And if you're sitting in a loss and you're paying a fee every 8 hours just to keep that position open, that's really going to grind down on your potential profit potential, right? So that was a weird tongue twister. But I mean, these are important things to be asking. I mean, like over here, for example, let's, no, I can't even give you this example. Let's use this example. I can't even give you this example because this bounce wasn't huge either. Let's see what other examples I can give you. I want to look at, you know, where we were in quite a nasty bear market. Over here, it would have worked out. See, here's an example where actually, if you did trade a long position off a 35% move from the swing low, you'd actually be pretty well off. I mean, 35% was the bloody low. You would temporarily be in a loss that would actually get very ugly. And this is the thing, is when there's so much market volatility, you can zip up and then fall all the way back down and instantly recover that shit. But if you do manage, because you've somehow got just total balls of steel, if you do manage to stay in a trade at this point, I mean, the profit potential would have been insane, like absolutely unbelievable. 40% move on 5x leverage is a 3 times gain on your initial cap right there. So I mean, this is an example of a situation where it would have worked out well. But again, in other bear markets, it just generally wouldn't. It generally wouldn't work out so well, right? I mean, here's let's take a look at another bear market situation right here where the price drops by quite a bit. You'd probably realize we're in a bear market by this point. We rally up by 35%. Actually, the market doesn't even rally up by, yeah, it does. Like 35% is the point right here. This is where you start asking the question, oh, well, you know, maybe it's worth entering a long position on Bitcoin again, right? Because, you know, we're up by about 35% and it looks like it's quite bullish, and, you know, whatever the case may be, and you're looking at the chart right here, you might be getting a little bit excited. I mean, let's just even lower the line down a little bit. Let's say you want to, you know, like you're temporarily in a profit for a couple of minutes, but I mean, it's already so overextended within an existing, I mean, it's not so obvious that this is a bear market at this point, but I mean, look, bottom line, we know in hindsight it's a bear market, and I mean, this is a 35% drop, I'm sorry, a 30% rise roughly. To me, I just don't like the idea of entering a trade, trading the long side when we're already so far in that direction, unless we get a pullback, right? Like, unless there is some, see, if the market managed to do something like this, and then, you know, it fell down again and it formed a little bit of a bull flag or something, and then it moved up, like, then what we would have here is a you know, kind of descending triangle pattern, right, which would look a little bit something like this. And we actually did have a descending triangle pattern at this point, but you know, we would potentially be having a potential, you know, like, I'm saying potential way too much. We would I can't avoid saying the word damn, potentially be having a descending triangle pattern right here. And, you know, like I said towards the beginning of this live stream, I mean, these have like a 33% chance of breaking up, and so that's where I would want to be taking up a long position. But we didn't really have that here. This was just extreme price action in response to more extreme sell-offs. And so, again, like, you just got to ask yourself, like, which kind of environment is the market in right now? And right now, I think it's in quite an explosive reactionary state. It's in a very emotional state. I mean, I've been reading some of the comments on this live stream right here, and I mean, obviously, we've got quite good filters for the total fucking idiots that can't separate their emotions from the market, and that tells us a lot about the rest of their lives. But anyway, we won't go too savage on them right now. I'm gonna down myself down. It's too early on in the live stream to be ripping people apart yet, but don't worry, we'll get there. Savage Sammy's coming out. I might have to go get my jacket real quick. Where is it? Right in front of me. There we go. So I can actually get it at any point during this live stream. Maybe just put it on and start ripping some people to shreds, start talking about some altcoins and stuff. But you know, bottom line, you know, one of the things I was mentioning in this live stream right here is I was reading the chat, and I'm looking at sentiment across social media and so on. I think people are getting, you know, quite getting pumped up, right? People are getting a little bit excited. It's fucking 35% up from the low, right? People are getting a little bit excited right now, and even in the comments, I mean, there is some talk of, you know, like, people just you know, rude remarks to bears, like, just being very dismissive, being very rude of bearish people right now. When I start to see that kind of sentiment within a bear market, as we're approaching these kind of resistance levels, as we're in what is quite clearly to me a reaction rally. I mean, we don't know if it's a reversal yet. You know, we are potentially you know, looking at a situation where yeah, I mean, like, the market is quite irrational, it is quite emotional. The fear and greed index is showing us this. I'm just stating the facts, ladies and gents. I mean, the facts ain't going to change despite how you feel about you know, the market or anything like that. I mean, it's not going to change because Four Flies is saying that we're potentially in a bearish reaction rally within a bearish trend that has already dropped down by quite a bit, and we haven't even formed any real bottom pattern. It doesn't change the numbers, you know what I mean? So that is the kind of stuff which I feel like a lot of people aren't really paying attention to, and I think that's quite important. So yeah, those to me are some of the more key things to be keeping in mind just during this market state right now. Let me go ahead and take a look at some of this Glassnode stuff as well, though. This is quite interesting. Bear with me here where I just pull up my notes. So yeah, this one's very, very interesting. This one's very, very interesting. It's actually potentially quite scary. Take a look at this. This you're really not gonna like if you're one of the bullish people right now. But anyway, it's more of the numbers, and I really. Someone's saying I missed the pump, dude. Like, I just told you guys I sold my Bitcoin at 57K to buy a fucking house. Like, like, talking about. This is the thing, and I find this really funny, right? Because the Shiba guys, they've got, I mean, they are rock solid right now. Their lotion is out. They are really going at it right now to this 20-30% pump on Shiba. But look at how much you've lost, right? Like, you're getting this is the funny thing, is it's like, I can't even say it. I'm a public forum. It's YouTube. You can get myself deplatformed. But I mean, like, it's absolutely pathetic. Like, people are going to be losing so much money, and then the market moves up by 20-30%, and they are fucking on it. I mean, it's just like they've taken a little fucking shot, just snort of cocaine or something, and they're just really amped up by this kind of thing. It's hilarious, right? And that's what we see in these emotional markets. When we see that kind of sentiment, that's telling us we're in a very emotional state right now. People are so happy to be seeing this move up right now, and it's backed by numbers. And this chart I'm about to show you proves this more than anything. This to me is pretty crazy, right? Take a look at this, and my god, I don't like it. It's scary. What this is showing us right now is the number of Bitcoin addresses with a balance of more than 10 Bitcoins. And so if this, and this is the orange line, pay attention to this, ladies and gents. Let me actually one sec. right here. So this chart is showing us the number of Bitcoin addresses with a balance of more than 10 Bitcoins. So if the number goes down, if the orange line goes down, it basically means that, you know, there are less addresses with more than 10 Bitcoin, which means that some of those Bitcoins are being moved out to other addresses. It doesn't necessarily mean those Bitcoins are being sold, but it's heavily implied that they are. Here's the thing, is that as we're rallying up, you know, like we're getting a big sell-off, and you know, these people aren't necessarily right all the time. I mean, the first big sell-off happens at 40k. It doesn't necessarily happen at 60k, and it's been a slow, stable sell-off. We see a little bit of accumulation from these bigger wallets right here, which we can call whales. We don't know if they're whales, but we can call them whales. I mean, having more than 10 Bitcoin means you're pretty well off. I mean, that is, at the moment, having more than 10 Bitcoin still means that you're worth nearly like $500,000 at least, you know, because that's how many Bitcoins you have in one wallet. So, you know, if that's one wallet, imagine what you might have in more than, you know, in a second wallet, for example. Maybe you have 5, 6, 50, whatever. But the point is that there's a set number of Bitcoin, and this is the beauty of Bitcoin, right? You can't see this data with any other asset unless you you have access to, you know, the banking data, or you can subpoena people. But with Bitcoin, it's public information. It's the public ledger, and that's one of the things that makes Glassnode so valuable. This is why they can charge $10,000 to idiots like me, and I'm actually going to pay it, you know, just for access to charts. Not even like a trading course or anything like that. Just literally charts. This is the reason it's so valuable, in my opinion, is because of stuff like this. But bottom line, what you can see right here is that like this rally, and this is huge. This is huge. This rally began right here from $33,000. We're up to the mid 40k, and look at how much Bitcoin has been sold off, right? Like the number of it's a big drop. I mean, like percentage wise, it's not such a huge move, but compared to the drops that we were seeing before and the relative stability before, this is a big drop right here, where yeah, at the very beginning of this huge move, there's 147,466 addresses with a balance above 10 Bitcoin, and right now that number has dropped down by 2,000. There's 2,000 less addresses, 2,000 addresses that no longer have more than 10 Bitcoins in their holdings. It's not like, I mean, this is what, like a 1.5% drop, right? I mean, it's not crazy. I don't even know if it's 1.5, but it's not that crazy. But what's important, and let me actually just calculate this real quick. What is it? Because I'm curious now. A 2,000 drop divided by 145,000 is a 1.37, 1.4% drop, right? So it's not huge, but compared to what we saw before, what this is telling us is that the bigger Bitcoin wallets are starting to sell off a little bit of their Bitcoin right now in response to this rally. And I want to make it clear, they're not always right. I mean, like we first started to see this whole thing get sold off at 20k, and I was saying this myself on the YouTube channel. I mean, anyone, look, I get it. Some people want to be taking profits on their Bitcoin right now because, you know, whatever, it's rallied up by a lot, and it naturally makes sense to take profits at 20k. I was saying this back then. Those of you who are watching the channel will understand this. But you know, one of the other things that I was saying is that, bottom line, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to top out at 20k, and I'm expecting it to actually blow right past 20k and hit 30k and 40k and so on. And that's what I was saying on the channel. That's why I was saying that I'm not selling any Bitcoin, because I don't anticipate that Bitcoin's gonna, you know, get rejected at this level, and I am anticipating that we're actually going to be rising up. So, and this is where these big addresses actually started selling off, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that they were always right. I mean, the addresses were at a big low, at the low in the market, because a lot of people, I think, rightly assumed that the market was going to keep dropping down from this point. But again, right now, just to see this is quite interesting. But what really seals the deal and what makes this quite scary is if we look at the addresses with a balance of more than 0.01 BTC, which is a completely different metric right now, it's shooting up. This is the crazy part. This is the crazy part, right? Like, this is what I wasn't prepared to see, is that, like, if we look at the number of Bitcoin addresses with a balance of above 0.01 BTC, which is about $400. So, I mean, nearly everybody watching this live stream has probably got, you know, a Bitcoin wallet or something, or at least multiple Bitcoin wallets that add up to $400, right? I mean, it's not that much money. And this is, I mean, this is more of an example of retail, right? I mean, if you got like $500,000, okay, you're a serious player. You got some money, or you're maybe even an entity, or maybe even a company, not even just one person. But $400, anyone's got $400, right? Like anyone in the West, for example, that's in Bitcoin. And look at how this has been increasing. Look at that. Like this is the interesting change, right? Take note of this. Take note of this. As we're here's what's crazy. Here's what's absolutely crazy. And it's that, like, as we're going up, the poor people, I don't want to label poor people, but I mean, you know what I mean, like compared to the people with $500,000 fucking dollars of Bitcoin in one address, the poor people, because they are compared to them, the poor people are buying a lot more Bitcoin as Bitcoin is peaking up, and they're selling Bitcoin as Bitcoin is dropping. Take a look at this. We can see less addresses holding above 0.01 BTC during the drop, and we're seeing people, someone's commenting about XRP. This is the typical XRP cuck that just doesn't know what's going on. This is what we see, is that they're buying it on the move up, and they're getting really, and their peak buying happens at the very end. It's so interesting to see. Like, this shit is amping me up. But what I find even more interesting is that right now we're seeing an increase right here with these wallets, you know, holding more than 0.01 BTC. We're seeing a little bit of an uptick in them right now. Look at this drop right here. You know, Bitcoin, and this is showing Bitcoin from its rally to, you know, 50K or something like that, down to, you know, effectively where we are right now. We can see how, like, you know, these wallets have gone up, right? So the smaller wallet holders, the smaller traders are actually buying more Bitcoin right now, while the bigger ones are actually offloading their Bitcoin. Look at this. Look at this. It's crazy. It's crazy when you see this playing out in front of you. Look at this. This is the wallets with more than 10,000 Bitcoins. It's pretty mad statistic. You can see again, even the biggest wallets with over 10,000 Bitcoin in one wallet. That is an insane amount of money. I don't even know what number that is. I mean, that's 10,000 multiplied by $40,000. I mean, it is a ridiculously large number. You know, in one wallet. Even this is going down. We look at the wallets with over a balance of 1,000 Bitcoins. Even this is going down. You can't, it's an undeniable trend right now. Bitcoin is rising up in what I'm calling is a potential relief rally, where people are getting very emotional right now, and the numbers back it. Look at that. Look, these wallets with over 1,000 Bitcoin, they are fucking selling off. Same time I was selling off, might I remind you, because my ego needs a little bit of fluffing right now. Same time I was selling off is when these 1,000 Bitcoin wallets were selling off as well. And obviously, I mean, they don't get it completely right, but they were mostly stable throughout this during this whole rally, and now they're dropping. This is a relief rally that people who generally you would consider to be, you know, smarter, this is where they want to get out of their Bitcoin. So, you know, and again, we look at, again, like 0.1 BTC. Anyone with more than 0.1 BTC, this is going up. Shocking, guys. Really, like, how do you refute this? I mean, the only argument I can think that is counter to this is, well, you know, moving Bitcoin doesn't mean that you're selling Bitcoin. I mean, it can literally just mean that someone with, you know, 1,100 Bitcoin moves, you know, 100 Bitcoins into 10 different wallets, and it's no longer going to be qualified as one address with above 1K, right? So it doesn't mean that you're selling, but come on, realistically, what is the implication, right? Like, when you have this kind of data, you can make a few assumptions, and I'm starting to, like, back this up with my own analysis that I've been talking about since the very beginning of the live stream. Yo, this dude is obsessed with me being gay in the chat. Like, it's just, come on, man. Like, we're talking about on-chain analysis, and this guy is getting, like, very excited. Like, dude, like, can we just be like a little bit more realistic? Like, this is top tier analysis. I'm enjoying this shit, and I hope you guys are too. If you're enjoying this, do me a favor and smash up the likes, because this is very, very insightful analysis. I haven't seen this anywhere else. It's very hard to refute this. It's very hard to deny this stuff, in my opinion. The wallets with more than 10 Bitcoins, look at how they're dropping off. I mean, like I said, it's a huge drop. It's a huge drop. Wallets with more than 100 Bitcoins, look at how they're dropping off. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Like, there is just so much selling happening, you know, with these larger wallets, and then with the smaller wallets, they're accumulating. They're buying on this rally. It's like, to me, this stuff is clear as day. To me, this stuff is clear as day, and that's why I don't want to be like. And by the way, we can see the same stuff with the dollar. Take a look at this. This is balances, addresses with a balance of more than $1. This is addresses with balances of more than $10,000, and then with more than $100,000, you can see the increase gets a little weaker, and now a balance of over $1 million. This is interesting. This is actually slightly different. This is more or less aligned to the chart. That's very interesting. You can see new addresses. Weird statistic right here. There's a lot. There's a lot of very, very cool stuff that you can see right here. But I do, I mean, this is a very, very interesting set of data right here, and that's why, I mean, look at, you can't deny this. I mean, this kind of drop is unbelievable. Someone's asking me, did I sell? No, I didn't sell. I mean, look, I'm giving you guys bearish analysis on the markets, but I still believe that I still believe that Bitcoin's going to rally back up. I mean, I'm firmly a believer in Bitcoin in the long term. I'm just telling you what the short-term chart is telling me right now. Russia just moved into Kiev. Is it true? Is it true? Russia just invaded... No, they couldn't have moved into Kiev. Kiev's bloody far away. I doubt that's true. But if it is, that would be interesting for how that affects the market, and also very sad, or very good, depending on which side you're on. Naturally, I'm going to be on the on the more European side. But is it true? Does anyone else know that? I'm guessing this person is just lying, to be honest, just for attention. Love the live chat. Thank you, Sammy. You're very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. He wants to tape me. Guys, if you love me, all you gotta do is smash up the likes and subscribe. That's all I need. See what else we have here in the chat. If you guys got some more questions, I have more Glassnode analysis, by the way. I'm not done. That's the best part. I'm not done. Is it okay for me to share Glassnode data? Absolutely. Yeah. You can share charts like this the way I'm sharing them. Okay, someone's sitting in Kiev right now and said that it's bullshit. Interesting, yeah. I didn't think so. Shout out to my Ukrainian fans, by the way. I love you guys. Hey, Sammy, you're a true inspiration. Love your brutal honesty. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Also love the Russians, by the way. I don't want to start beef. Love you all. I didn't even know... I never met, like, a Russian or Ukrainian person until I came to Dubai. There are so many here. There are so many that I'm actually learning Russian. Like the language. You can take a few guesses for as to why. If you're in Dubai, you'll know exactly why. It's a cool language. I rate you and that martini guy. Kudos, Warwickshire, UK. Thank you very much, man. Can I please show the addresses in profit? I can, but this metric is actually pretty useless in my opinion, because it just scales with Bitcoin's growth or drops. I mean, it doesn't really tell me anything. I guess it does, yeah. It's not, I mean, it mainly just moves with the market, to be honest. I don't know what kind of conclusions you could draw off something like this. Hey, Four Flies, I had a long day and I was about to pass out and you woke me up with the banger stream. Thank you very much, dude. I'm glad that it gave you a little bit of excitement in your life today. That's amazing. That's very, very cool. Give me some more questions, guys, if you have any, and if you do, I'll go through them. Otherwise, I'm also going to start going through some of the altcoins right now as well, because there is a fair bit to talk about them, but I do want to go through your questions first. I just want to remind you guys that if you're looking for an exchange to trade on, or you just want another account, because it's always a good idea to distribute your assets across multiple different accounts, multiple different exchanges, in case one of them gets hacked or there's some downtime or whatever the case may be. It's your money at the end of the day. If it was just something a little bit more menial or not so important, then it wouldn't really matter. But if it's money, it's worth not spreading, not having all your eggs in one basket. And one of the key ways you can do that is by having different hardware wallets and different ways of securing your funds, and also for trading, having different trading accounts. And Bybit is a great place to be. I've been trading here for years. It's the main exchange I've been using for a very, very long time. And if you do sign up to it using my link in the description down below, you're also going to be getting some free cash deposited into your account. And of course, if you want to jump into VIP and see how our members have been able to do very, very well, of course, I have to mention, I mean, not everybody has done as well as the yearly guy that I was showing you, but still very, very impressive results. Let me pull up another testimonial that we got as well. This was actually I mean, we get a lot of smaller ones. I mean, like, these are the more exciting ones because people actually like explain how they did what they did and, you know, how they learned. And, I mean, this person who took our yearly package within 12 hours was doing very, very well. And then a whole 2 hours after that, you know, managed to actually pay off the fee in VIP. That is always very, very impressive because you're, like I said, not only getting access into our Advanced Academy course, but even phone calls with me, and we can have, you know, as many as you like. It's fairly flexible in that way. We've never had a problem with offering that flexibility, but also, you know, a whole year into VIP access itself. And if you don't even know what that entails and you want to find out if it's for you, you know, if you'd be a good fit, then you can follow these steps on screen. This is going to take you into a direct chat with me. If I don't respond, one of my assistants will, and you can ask for a phone call with a member of my team, and we can set that up. But you know, quite a few very, very impressive testimonials we've received. Here's another one that was on Cardano when Cardano was around the $1.50 mark, but many more. A lot of them are smaller. They're not so well explained, but then, you know, you've got other ones like this right here. This person mentioning in December that this person was glad he enrolled into the VIP market updates, and yeah, just writing some stuff about that as well. So just cool stuff there. If you do want to jump inside, then these are the steps on screen. And let's go through some of your questions now. Someone wants me to continue Glassnode. I'll get to that in just a second. I do just want to take a quick segue away from that just for the questions though, because I haven't looked at questions for a little while. Can I look at Ethereum? Yes, I will do so. Bear with me. See what else we have. What is 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗟𝗏 saying? Let's take a look at 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗟𝗏. It's been a while since I've spoken about them. About 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗥𝗏. Let's pull that up right here on this chart. 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗥𝗏 must have flipped by now, at least. Let's look at it on the daily time frame. All right, yeah. So 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗥𝗏 gave us a buy on this big lightsaber candle. Let's see where it turned bullish on the 4 hour. Gave us a strong buy right here with a take profit warning here and no more take profit warnings afterwards. On the 4 hour. On the daily, yeah, it's bullish. It's not actually we don't have green candles yet, so it's still, according to 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗏, still some possibility of this thing reversing back down, but we're right now we're pushing those boundaries. I think that if we break this level right here, we might end up getting, you know, a little bit of some green candle action. And actually, what I also wanted to show to you guys, by the way, if you want 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗏, it's linked in the description, get 20% off. But what I also wanted to show you is this red line right here on the MRI indicator, and how actually, you know, these lines right here on the MRI indicator, you know, we get green lines that offer support, and we get red lines that offer resistance. And generally, when we break these levels, if we do, you know, it can really show us that we're going to get big price explosions. So on this occasion, when we broke this green line right here, we dropped down massively, right? I mean, it was a very bad situation in the market. Right now, we've obviously punched above this resistance area, so that's pretty cool. But of course, you know, one of the things I want to wait for is the daily close. I mean, we're now about 4.5 hours away. It's going to potentially tell us a little bit more about, you know, where this thing is going to be going. I mean, you know, within the next 4 hours, we can definitely get a sell-off that takes us a lot lower. It's Bitcoin we're talking about at the end of the day. I mean, realistically, is that likely? No, I don't think so. But is it possible? Absolutely, yes, especially when the market is so volatile. Here's another example right here where we had a red resistance line right here, and when we broke above it, yes, we did pull back temporarily, but we blasted off afterwards as well. Again, over here, we had a big area of support. When we fell below it, the price totally collapsed. So these MRI lines are very important to my opinion, and yes, it is potentially playing some part on the market at the moment. Hardik, I love your Portofino in the GT3. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, guys, if you want to see a little bit more of my personal life, I have a beautiful Ferrari, which I bought at a very bad price of Bitcoin when it was at 20K, but I could not wait. And actually, I bought it with my tax savings from when I moved from the UK to here. So that was my final fuck you to the UK government. They can go do one. They are absolute cunts, the whole lot of them. I'm sure there's some nice people in between, but they're not nice enough and they're not loud enough because they're pussies. So yeah, I had to get myself a Ferrari in response to their disgusting levels of crime. I'm not even going to talk about it, but anyway, yeah, I'm a big car fan, so thank you very much. They are very nice indeed. Here's a question that looks somewhat complicated. Actually, let's not do that one yet. Do I like scalping? Do I use leverage? I don't like scalping. I think scalping is a terrible idea. Do I use leverage? Yes, I do. Do I trade without leverage? Rarely. Have I tried scalping? Yes, and scalping is a terrible idea for many, many reasons in my opinion, and one of the main ones is that your risk is so high and your reward is not good enough for it, and it's stressful, and it takes up a lot of time, and I have a real life, and I want to go out and have fun and meet people and do fun shit out here. I'm living in Dubai. I want to have a real life, and it's very important to have that balance, because, you know, without that, if you're just sitting on your computer all day, which I've done as well as a trader, and I've tried, it doesn't work out. My results are not better. In fact, they're generally worse, and so there's, very limited, if any, upside at all to doing something like that, in my own opinion. Crypto Lab asking, my take on the market that's derivative driven versus a market that's spot driven. Don't I think it's merely leverage hunts for shorts and longs generally? Yes, I do. Let's see what else we have here. Any other questions? Do I have a watch collection? No, not really. I have a couple Omega watches, but I'm not really a watch guy, to be honest. More of a Bitcoin guy. Everyone tells me to, not everyone, but like the very wealthy friends I have here in Dubai, they tell me to buy watches and stuff, and they're like, oh shit, yeah, but I'm wearing the watch and it's just gone up by double in value across a year. And I'm like, dude, have you seen Bitcoin? You know what I mean? Like, I would if I had a genuine interest in watches, but I'm wearing an Apple Watch right now. Like, I prefer the utility. I'm a young guy. Like, I'm not like somebody who's like, oh, the mechanics or whatever. Like, it's just not me. It's not me. I did at first, you know, at some point kind of really fall in love with them, and that's why I bought a couple Omega. One of my this watch I actually think is beautiful. Omega 45th Seamaster. No, it's a Speedmaster Apollo 17. This is a very, very cool watch. This is the only limited edition watch I have, but it is bloody gorgeous. Look at that. Oh wow, it's so beautiful. Haven't worn this in quite a while. I really fell in love with this one, but I mean, like, end of the day, I work quite a lot. I go to the gym, I work out a lot. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, with the link down below, you're going to be seeing my personal life. This art is beautiful, but the utility of an Apple Watch is just so much more important to me right now. It's useful for so many things. I mean, I don't understand why so many people have a mental block with Apple Watches. I mean, you have a fucking iPhone in your hand, you have an Android phone, your car has smart features, your bloody fridge, if you're wealthy enough for it and actually care, you know, has a camera inside so you can see how many of your groceries are still left when you're at the supermarket and you forgot what you want. You know, I mean, a lot of people are living in smart homes and stuff like that, but you don't want an Apple Watch? Like, really? I think that inconsistency is quite funny. I'm all for more tech. I love tech. I used to be a tech reviewer. If you go back on my YouTube videos on this very YouTube channel, you'll see that I used to make videos, you know, reviewing technology just as a total nerd when I was younger. So I'm big on that kind of stuff. Still, you know, can appreciate the art and so on, but Apple Watches are my way. Big tangent right there. Here's somebody who I think has written an interesting comment. This person's writing, I'm one of those poor people. When I work out my front doors, the trees in my street frame the tower you are in. I look at it in the distance and wonder which level you're at. Oh, okay, not really to do with the market. Yeah, I mean, I want to make it clear, when I said poor people, it was only for simplicity. I mean, it's not really the point, but obviously, I mean, it's hard to deny. I mean, you're talking about a wallet of, you know, like 10 Bitcoins, it's like $500,000. Like, yeah, you know, a wallet of $400 is not so large in front of that. And really, just for simplicity, I mean, the main point there is that this is a representation of what the very, very wealthy holders are doing, which, you know, generally you would expect to be smarter and just better at navigating the markets, because that's generally what wealthy people do. But then also, you know, what the newer people will do, who, you know, generally are going to be buying smaller wallets as well. Let's see what else we have here. Queen Elizabeth is okay, and Johnson is having parties all the time. I mean, I love the Queen, innit? I mean, I was still fairly, like, one of the reasons I left the country is I felt fairly, not super patriotic, but, you know, fairly patriotic, and I didn't like seeing the country just stab itself in the chest, you know, so much. And like, Johnson still having parties all the time is a great example of that. I mean, it's just such a disgusting level of hypocrisy in the British government. It's unbelievable. It's a total joke to the rest of the world. Nobody in the world takes the UK seriously anymore, and for a good reason. I mean, the UK has become a total joke, so it's heartbreaking to see. What else have we got here? Why wouldn't I go long if it clears resistance and then we'll move quickly to next resistance? Well, I mean, that's what my analysis is telling me if we do end up breaching this level, which we pretty much have done right now. The reason I don't want to go long on this right now is because it's the same thing that somebody else asked about. Like, we're already extended up by about 36-35% from our low, and I just don't like opening up long positions when we've already moved up that much. I mean, like, to me, the boat is already gone. Even if this thing does move up a little bit more right now, the possibility of, you know, a drawdown and, you know, in some way, you know, rising up and then topping out at 48 and then dropping down massively again, it's just the possibility of something like that going wrong right now is so high that I don't have any desperation. Like, I want to trade easier things. I don't want to trade things that are difficult, right? Like, to me, that is a huge element of risk, and I'm not looking for that. Like, a lot of people, they want to trade every move they see because they don't really understand you know, things about keeping their capital safe, and you'll only really get this until you lose enough money. But I mean, my take is like, don't lose the fucking money. Like, learn this from somebody else, learn it from a book, don't make the mistake yourself. But naturally a lot of people will, and you can't really save them from that. But I went through that stuff, and that's why I only really like to trade things that I deem to be very safe, because, you know, I mean, I can take, you know, if I was trading with five times more frequency, 2 times more frequency, I would be taking opportunities like this. But you know, and it might work some of the time, but more of the time it wouldn't. And I know this because I've done it. I'm not just talking out my ass. I've tried all of these different trading strategies, and I've arrived at what I'm at right now, and I'm very, very happy with it. It's you know, I mean, it can be boring for sure, but it keeps my capital safe. I mean, someone who's trading more often than me will have lost more money. I know this. This is I mean, not somebody. I mean, like most people, for example, for sure. Most people have just been losing money in this market lately. It's terrible. I mean, you know, what happens when Bitcoin goes up to its all-time high again? If it does, I mean, it's impossible to. I mean, it's such a bad position to be in if Bitcoin goes back up to its previous all-time high and you have less Bitcoin this time than you did last time. I mean, it's a total loss. I mean, you've really fucked up, you know, and especially if you've lost a lot of Bitcoin because you were one of the shitcoin holders like Shiba guys. Maybe we start ripping on them right now. It's been a while, 90 minutes into the stream, so you guys are the more hardened fans. Maybe it's time for me to put on the savage hat, get the jacket out. You know what I mean? Here we go. Let's see what else we got in the comments here before I carry on with the analysis. Am I into NFTs? I can't make sense of why they're worth anything. I can't either, Kai. Everyone and their nan is into NFTs out here in Dubai. My God, everyone's got something to say about NFTs in Dubai, and it's, you know what, I can talk to you guys about it. I know I'm being recorded right now, and someone's gonna hold this against me, but you know what? Fuck it, I don't care. I love you guys. When I meet you in person, I've met quite a few of you in person. Most of you are really, really cool. But to the occasional people that come up to me and talk about NFTs, yo, please put it to rest. I don't want to talk about it. I'm trying to be nice because we're in public and stuff like that, but I don't want to hear about your NFT shit. I don't want to talk about NFTs. I think they're total bullshit. No, I know they're total bullshit, and it's just like such a stupid, pointless thing. Like, you only go into NFT if you want to make money in crypto, and you've ended up in NFTs. Let's just get this shit straight up clear right now. I'm on the record. Someone's gonna post this and share it to people who know me personally, and you know what? I don't care about that. Like, this is stuff that I would say to you privately. I'd never say it publicly because I don't want to embarrass you, but I'll say this to you privately, is that, like, anyone that's in crypto and started off as an investor or a trader and is now in NFTs is only in NFTs because they can't trade or analyze very well, and they can't invest because they don't have the balls for it. So they go to NFTs and they waste even more time over there because, yeah, sure, they might mint and make something or whatever, but naturally it's just totally useless. And one of the reasons that we got such a big crash right now, that we crashed from 69k down to 33, and that we crashed from 65k down to 29 and 28, one of the reasons we saw these crashes in this market is that so many people started doing so many stupid things, right, that the market became so overblown and just so overinflated, and that shit needs to die. Like, in order for the market to move up in healthy ways again, that stuff needs to die. Now, I'm not saying that, like, oh, we blame it on them because, you know, like, they ruined it for us. Like, no, I mean, we can't blame it on them either. I'm just, like, where there's stupidity, you better believe I'm going to point it out. And this is, like, all this NFT crap, total bullshit. Like, look, if there's ways to make money with it, I get it. That's fine, right? Like, and I've said this myself. Like, if I got a really good NFT deal, some people ask me this in private. I'll tell you guys. I mean, I'm very open with this stuff. I got nothing to hide. You know, if someone came up to me for a sponsorship of an NFT thing, and it's not a scam, and it's a way for me to make money, and I can be open about it and talk about how I still think this is stupid, but look, it's here, I'm getting sponsored to talk about it, I'll do that, right? I think that's cool. If there's an opportunity for, and someone else brought this up to me, one of my friends in real life out here in the way, he's an influencer as well. I was telling him why I think NFTs are total bullshit, and he's like, yeah, but I'm in them because I'm making money. I'm like, dude, like, cool. If you're making money from it, exploit the fuck out of it. Do it, right? Like, it's not, you're not doing anything unethical, you're not doing anything that's dangerous, you're not doing anything that's harming other people. It's just stupid. And you know what, like all this crypto kitty stuff, or even trading coins like Shiba or XRP, I will engage in these total shitcoin projects that are absolute wastes of space, waste of time. I'll buy them, I'll trade them if I think that there's opportunities to make money, right? I'm not saying no to money, I'm just saying no to stupidity. That's what NFTs are. And guys, please, if you meet me in public, if you see me in public, come say hi. I love it. We'll take a selfie together. It's really, really cool. You know, I mean, a lot of people are asking me stuff in person. I'm super happy to do that. I've been recognized all over the world, which is insane to me. But you know, it's very, very cool. And if you see me, do come up to me and chat. I've got no problem with it. Just don't bring up NFTs, for the love of God. Just don't, because I'm gonna have to be nice to you and play it off like I want to hear about what you have to say, but I don't. I don't want to hear about NFTs, and I'm mentally clocked out the minute you say the N. The second you say the N in NFT, it's like I'm already thinking about something else. But anyway, that's just my rant. I needed to say it. I haven't said it for a long time, and there you go. That's that's me just getting it off my chest, because it's been a while. It's been a while. Let's see what else we got in the comments here. I've skipped a lot of comments. Let me make sure I don't skip any questions. Oh, and then to get into why NFTs are worth something, I mean, it's literally just like pyramid scheme type stuff. It's like, I think the person after me is going to want to pay this, and it's just like it's not even like pyramid. It's almost like asking me like, why is Louis Vuitton so expensive and so popular? I mean, it's just why is that worth anything compared to clothes from Zara or whatever? And I mean, it's really just the assigned value we give it as the public, right? And it's a different case with, you know, designer clothes, because a lot of these brands, you know, been established for a long time, and there's actually real utility to them. I mean, you can, you know, you have some nice material you can wear or something, but with an NFT, for the most part, especially with the stupid ones like the apes or whatever, you're just getting pictures. I mean, I see it the same way I see people buying fancy number plates. I've never engaged in that stuff either. I mean, it's just to show the next person that you have more money than them. I mean, it's a way to flex, and it's, in my opinion, quite a pointless way to flex. But it has value because other people want to pay for it, and that's going to keep on happening while people are overinflated in these markets. That's why NFTs took off. No one would give a fuck about NFTs if they weren't worth so much. Like, no one would be starting up NFT projects left, right, and center if they weren't worth so much. But they are, and that's why they're staying this way. You know, is because people are all buying into this collective lie. This is what happens with, you know, shitcoins like XRP or Shiba. When they're moving up, everyone's buying into this collective lie of whatever bullshit that coin is saying. But as soon as the coin drops again, no one cares about that story anymore. This is the same thing. It's like, when there's profit, you'll justify it in all sorts of ways because you're actively incentivized to believe the lies. As soon as you're not incentivized to believe the lies anymore, you start hating it. This is the difference between things like, I mean, Bitcoin is even victim to the same thing as well. I mean, look at this, right? I mean, the only reason we're getting such a big drop right here is because people were only buying Bitcoin out of excitement right here, because they were incentivized to believe, you know, whatever about Bitcoin, that Bitcoin's going to replace the world reserve currency and all that other bullshit. You know, I'm super bullish on Bitcoin, but I know for a fact that it's not going to replace the world reserve currency, at least not anytime soon, because, I mean, it's Bitcoin, right? Like, it's just not what people use to transact on any real scale. It's very much a speculative tool to profit and trade and so on. It's been that way for years, and I anticipate that it'll stay that way for a long time, because, I mean, yes, it is maturing, but it's got a long way to go. It's got a very, very long way to go in terms of maturing to get to where it's actually, you know, made to do stuff in terms of, you know, being a means of transacting and so on, instead of, you know, the US dollar, for example. Yeah, so that's me right there. I have a speedy Moonwatch Love Mine. Yeah, the Speedmaster is very, very cool. Nice watch, smart with leather straps. Actually, these are the Nike sport bands. I used to have another one which was actually these like very cool links, but I felt like I was too serious with this, and I'm still a young guy, you know, so a lot of my life revolves around going to the gym right now and stuff like that, and that's why I really like this. When is the house tour? Actually, I don't think that's ever going to happen, to be honest. But I do show the outside of the house all the time because I throw parties quite often. Leave Boris Johnson alone. My God, never. No. By someone having a dual citizenship, would it be smart to open accounts in another country instead of using US citizenship? I think if you have US citizenship, you're fucked by default, because the US citizenship is like one of the most restrictive ones I can think of. I mean, in the Western world. So I don't think it makes a difference if you have dual citizenship. US is still going to try and claim your stuff. That's my understanding. I'm not a US citizen, so I can't say for sure. Flies, if there's another crypto winter, when do I expect that it will ever go low again? What? I certainly expect there will be a crypto winter again, and I know that there's going to be a crypto winter with fair amount of certainty, because we're still moving up and exploding. I mean, this was a long time ago, to be fair, but we're still having very irrational price action, and that will mean we're going to have very irrational price action for a long time as well. I mean, we have one extreme, so we must have the other eventually. I mentioned I had analysis for XRP. I did. Let's take a very quick look at it. I don't want to look at it right now because, I'll be honest, pulling up to about 2 hours on this live stream, I'm getting a little bit tired right now. It's just got this resistance box right here, which it's in the middle of right now. It's actually pumped up massively a little bit with Shiba. It's funny, huh? Right? How Shiba and XRP pump at the same time tells you something about how bad these coins are. And actually from this low up to the high right now, it's up by about 35%, and this happened within a very, very quick space of about like 1 day. So quite impressive price. Yeah, not 1 day, I mean more like 3-4 days, but still quite an impressive rally for XRP. It's in a resistance zone right now, but if it manages to break this resistance zone, I mean, it can run up really quickly. I mean, you know, when I was talking earlier on this live stream about how Bitcoin's resistance is probably going to be getting thinner and thinner as it rises up, XRP's resistance is even thinner than that. So, I mean, this is why coins like XRP can fly so quickly when they get bullish again, is because there's practically no resistance on the chart. And, I mean, we're at one of those crucial resistance areas right now, depending on how you're looking at it. We've maybe even crossed that resistance already. You could say that the resistance was right here, and we're now actually above it, right? So, you know, a couple different interpretations you can take for this chart right now. But bottom line, I mean, it's potentially just flirting with a massive explosion upwards right now, where, I mean, it can literally, like, you know, double and reach some of its other, you know, kind of resistance areas that are right here. But this is the point, is that, I mean, you know, one of the things about this coin is it's got such a die-hard fan base. It's one of the good things about XRP. Not actually good about XRP, but about its community, is that, yeah, its fan base just believe the lies so much. I mean, these are the people that vote for the same political party every year and then complain that nothing's changing. I mean, this is the same thing right here, you know, with XRP holders, that they will never sell it. And so, you know, as soon as we start crossing these resistance areas where supply gets so restricted a lot of the time, demand stays where it is or even goes up a little bit. And that's why we see huge price explosions for coins like XRP. So I'm going to go into more of that probably later on, maybe in the next video tomorrow. Make sure you are subscribed for that if you're not already. Make sure you've hit up the likes, by the way, if you've been enjoying this live stream so far. Yeah, to me that is, yeah, I mean, I'll probably cover more of this tomorrow. I don't want to talk too much about it right now. Move us back to the Bitcoin chart. Actually, you just want to flash this on screen for those of you who are asking about VIP. I can see that many of you have already reached out for information on 𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗧 VIP, and you've already been responded to. If you do want to get information on what the deal is, then you know, just find out what's going on, what the prices are, what the benefits are, all the information right there. You can follow these steps on screen right here. Just these 3 quick clicks. The first link in the description down below, then the @𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗧 button, and then the send message button to ask me how to join. Let's see what other questions we have here. Hey man, for those of us that are already in a long position, what would be a good position to take profit or watch out? Generally, I can't give you financial advice, but generally a good idea to take profit on a long position is at a resistance level. So we've pretty much broken the resistance levels right now, but we're still kind of at one in the mid 44k range. The next resistance I'm seeing is at 47 and 50 and 52. So do with that what you will. Those are the resistance levels I'm seeing. That's where it's generally a good idea to be taking profits. And you can identify resistance levels by just looking at the chart. I started out a year ago in crypto with an investment of $10,000. And now, mostly by luck, I'm up 3 times as I write this. No leverage. Just the odd swing trade stuck to top 10. Good stuff, man. Congratulations. That's very, very cool. It's very, very cool. Let's see what other questions we have here. Facts. Only good NFTs I can see is gaming NFTs that actually bring daily money. I mean, like, yeah, and the other NFTs that are like, you know, like they come with other things. Like, you know, one of the common things that I've heard that give NFTs value is that, you know, you buy some shitty picture and then you get like a ticket to a concert or something with that picture, and so now you've added utility to it. And my argument is, well, I can also give you a fucking QR code and say the same thing, right? Like, or I can give you a little toothpick and say that if you come with this particular toothpick of this color, you can enter my concert, right? Like, it doesn't have to be an NFT, but of course it's one of those ways that you can create value. And of course, if it's a buzzword and there's money to be made off it, then do it, right? Like, I mean, I got nothing wrong with that stuff. Again, like, it's not like it's unethical. It's not like you're hurting people. It's cool. It's just stupid. That's my take on NFTs. For the most part, I mean, no, there's going to be some good utility here and there, but for the most part, people are just exploiting it and making projects because they want to get rich. And you know what? That's totally fine, but at least know what you're getting into. I mean, you know, I got no problem, you know, buying a shitcoin if I think it's going to rise, but I at least know it's a shitcoin. You know what I mean? Like, that's the important part. Like, I'm at least self-aware. Let's see what else we got here in the comments. Someone told me to drink water. Thank you very much. I should do so. It's been about an hour and 45 minutes since I've drank any water. As a new trader who's trying to get educated, I really needed such an analysis, and you're doing great. Your lifestyle looks fire, though. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing my best for you guys on this YouTube channel, so I do appreciate that effort is going recognized right here. I am really concerned about that Glassnode stuff, by the way. I mean, I didn't sell any Bitcoin. The only reason that I would sell Bitcoin is if I want to buy it back lower, which would be pretty nice to do, to be honest. But yeah, I don't like seeing. Yeah, I mean, it's so. I mean, this is balances. This is addresses with balances of, you know, $400 or more, and this is addresses with balances of $4 million or more. And you can see how there's less of these addresses as the market is moving up. I mean, a lot of these smart people that hold a lot of Bitcoin, I mean, a lot of the people that hold a lot of Bitcoin, they don't necessarily have to be smart, but, you know, I mean, generally you'd expect that they are if they have more money. It's generally the people with more money that are smarter about, you know, their money. Just by virtue of being rich, they'll just generally know what to do. You know, they are, yeah, it's something that I can't ignore. It is somewhat concerning. I can't lie. It is. See what else we got here in the comments. Can I check out the DXY? It's very interesting, the DXY. I can't actually make sense of it right now. Someone's saying it's in a perfect distribution pattern. I don't really know. It's hard for me to give much analysis on this, to be honest. What about UK dual citizenship? Is that what you have? No, it's pretty hard to get citizenship in the UAE. You need to speak Arabic and a bunch of other stuff. And I can read Arabic, but I didn't. I was learning Arabic, and I kind of decided I can't be bothered. I'd rather learn Russian, to be honest. So I didn't really follow through with it. And there's a bunch more stuff to get citizenship here. It's not so easy. I mean, UK citizenship is also pretty bad in terms of, you know, the restrictions it will apply on you globally. It's not as bad as the United States, but they're trying. Yeah, it's not. I mean, look. I mean, being born, I'm so happy I was born British. I'm very patriotic overall, obviously, but yeah, in terms of citizenship, it's not the most advantageous one, I don't think. Shiba's starting to take off right now. Let's take a look at Shiba. I don't think it's taken off right now. It's not doing anything over the past couple of hours. Yeah, it's not doing anything. I'm not sure where you got that idea from. Thank you for the 2 awesome streams today. You're very welcome, Theo. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, this one's pulling up to 2 hours, so we're probably going to be heading off. Now. If you have any final questions, then please do drop them in the questions. I'm sorry, in the comments, and I make sure that you tag me with my name, of course, so that I do indeed see your question. Otherwise, I probably will miss it. Do I believe in Solana new technology? I don't believe in the technology of any coin. I don't care. I don't research it. It's not interesting to me. I only care about the psychology and technicals. I'm not long-term in anything other than Bitcoin and a few of my altcoin holdings that I have actually taken the time to research because I knew that I was getting in them very early, like Casta and VPAD. But otherwise, I don't care and I won't care. I'm only here to trade these things and make money and then move that right back into Bitcoin, which is the only coin that I fully trust. Big shout out to you from Hamburg, Germany. Your content analysis is simply the most honest and far above the other experts. Love your calm way. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, man. Appreciate that a lot. Where do I see Shiba reaching resistance? It's a pretty bad chart, to be honest. It's hard to say. I suppose you could say that there's a little bit of resistance right here between 36 and 4,000, but 3,600 and 4,000. But I mean, there's no resistance. I mean, this is a very, very bad chart, in my opinion. It's very hard to say. There's an article the other day about the second biggest NFT marketplace being 87% wash trades. What do you mean by wash trades? My long-standing theory was that one of the key reasons we were seeing such large NFT transactions was because it was money laundering. And if you think about how like luxury paintings, you know, I don't know if luxury paintings is the right word, but I mean like, you know, expensive paintings have been used for money laundering for a long time, decades, many decades at least. And then you imagine that this totally unregulated crypto space comes along and you can do the same fucking thing again. And this time there's even less eyes on you and it's not regulated and it's so much easier to move money around than, you know, a painting that needs to be physically moved and, you know, there's all the other shit involved. Or you just click a few buttons. You know, I mean, it is the wet dream of somebody that has black money that they want to wash. That has always been my theory with NFTs and why, you know, some of the bigger ones sold for. So I mean, of course, there are some occasional massively rich idiots, right? Like they exist too. But my bigger theory for this is, yeah, just straight up money laundering. It's so clear to me, having seen how the NFT markets have moved. Because I can't get out of hearing it. Like I live in Dubai. Everyone's doing something about NFTs here. It's so annoying. And so naturally I just hear about it in conversations and stuff like that. It's very, very annoying. Do I ever use footprint charts like exo charts? Yes, I do, but I don't actually use them very well, so I tend to stick away from them for the most part. Want to move to Dubai? Is it hard to get housing and is it expensive? It depends on how you want to live. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can actually be pretty cheap compared to major cities in Europe. If you want to move to Dubai, shoot me a message on Telegram by following these steps. Same steps for VIP. Shoot me a message on Telegram and I'll set you up with some very, very useful people to move into Dubai. This is mainly just for entrepreneurs if you just want a job. or whatever, then you're gonna have to find a company that's hiring in Dubai. But if you already own a company or you're very rich and you can, don't even need to be very rich. Just I think, yeah, I'm not gonna give numbers, but if you're well off, then you can even set up a company here, which you don't necessarily even use, just to get a visa and live here. Lot of different ways to live in Dubai. So that's how you can reach out. Smash out the thumbs for the effort on the double streams, ladies and gents. Such refreshing level-headed analysis. Thank you so much, 𝗬𝗎𝗓𝗏, man. Appreciate that a lot. What's my opinion on the Maserati MC20? I don't like Maserati cars, man. I feel like they're stuck in the past. They sound beautiful, but that's about the only thing they got going for them. And I don't even know how good they're going to be sounding with all the European regulations right now. So I'm not really interested in that kind of thing at the moment. Someone's asking me why I have such a long neck, looking like an ostrich with glasses. That's unique. Do I actually? I don't have a long neck. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just the angle I'm sitting at. I mean, I think I've got a fairly normally proportioned neck. Thank you very much. Don't know why you're such a hater, man. Fucking hell. Look at you. Really just got to point it all out, haven't you? Yeah, guys, I'm going to call it a stream right here. It's been an hour and 55 minutes roughly. So thank you all for tuning in. Do me a favor and smash up the likes one last time if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Click the bell if you haven't done so already. If you want more, I can't speak, more free analysis from myself and my team. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, click on the first link in the description down below. You're going to be getting it for free inside of the 𝗬𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗟𝗏 Gold channel, which looks just like this. Whenever you feel like you're ready to get the information for VIP, you can click on the @𝗬𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗏 button at the bottom of any post inside of our free channel, and then click on send message to ask me how to join. I will send you all those bits of information very quickly. What else have we got here? Alright. I look really down today. Where's the explosive energy? Dude, it's been 2 hours. I'm pretty okay. I just got tired. Had a very intense gym session at the start of the day, and it I mean, naturally that's going to set the tone for the rest of the day. But no, I'm pretty okay. Thank you for asking though. But yeah, it's just, I mean, talking non-stop for 2 hours is, and then at that, like, you know, there's the pressure of being on a live stream. It's not that much pressure, but it's there, and you know, making sure that I'm saying things that are legit and I'm not wasting people's time and so on. It's a fairly exhausting thing. I mean, you know, it's almost like a performance. So yeah, it does obviously, you know, wear you down as you get closer to the end. Someone's asking me how old am I? I'm 20 years old. What do I expect from this level? Rejection or breakout? No bullshit, straight answer. I mean, it's kind of the point of the whole live stream, to be honest. So I think you ought to rewind and watch it from the very beginning, to be honest, and you'll get the answer to that, because it's not a very, I can't really give you a straight answer. That's the point of this YouTube channel, isn't it? I mean, if you wanted a straight answer, you can go to another channel that, you know, is recording a 4-minute video on what is, you know, the most critical resistance level that Bitcoin has in the entire chart being broken right now. I don't think you could be making like a 4-minute straight answer on that. I mean, it's a much more complex topic in my opinion than just that, in my opinion. So yeah, just repeating myself now. But I wish I could give you a straight answer, dude, but I can't. I'm sorry. Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for all the support. Get some nice dinner, relax. I will do. Oh shit, I do need to eat. Yeah, I didn't get enough protein in today. Oh, this is very annoying. Gotta have a whole other meal at midnight. That's not nice, but gotta put the gains first. So thank you for the reminder, Jet. At least I'm gonna eat now. I'll see you all in the very next one.